After several assurances that the IMF was not an option, President Akufo-Addo has ordered the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta to formally engage the IMF on a possible financial assistance. This will mean that in the next few months, Ghana will be engaging the IMF for financial bailout. Today we ask Ghanaians, is this the Ghana beyond aid they envisioned? Is the IMF going to be the solution to Ghana's economic problems? Do you think that the time that Ghana decided to go to the IMF is the right time, or we've waited for too long?
I think it's the right time. It's the right time. Because looking at the e-levy being failing as this thing, the e-levy that has failed. Because when you actually implement this thing, pass tax law, they are not going to actually have this thing at the short run. It's a long run something. So the revenue they projected to have, they didn't get it. So that is why they went to the IMF. So I believe it is actually the right time, considering the budget deficits, balancing of BOP and other things. So I think that's the right time for us to go to the IMF.
Okay, and so do you think that the IMF will help us to solve our problems? Because a lot of people have said that it really may not be the solution that we need.
Well, the finance minister said there will be dire consequences on going to the IMF. So the IMF doesn't help every country. When you look at the list of the country that have gone to the IMF, Ghana, this is our 17th time engaging with the IMF. They haven't helped us. But the IMF doesn't help you. You actually send your policy to them for them to help you balance your payments. Do you get it? So it is not as if they are going to help us, but they are going to help us at the interim. So at the long run, we have to come together as a nation by engaging in partisan ways, but bringing all stakeholders on board, and we should just eschew our our pride, and come together with stakeholders in order to just implement our policy.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you about an IMF program helping the country?
7. And the 7, with the 7, me saying 7 is that we've been there about 16 times and yet there were no results. So what's the assurance that when we go this time, something will be done about it? And with the IMF, when you go, they tend to dictate policies to you. You understand? You being given that particular money, you are being given it based on what they tell you to do. So there are instances that we might even observe that some programs they used to do initially will be cancelled. For instance, free SHS can be cancelled since it's not having a better background in its foundation.
Right. So do you think that going now, we should have gone earlier when we realized that we were having issues? We should have just gone to the IMF instead of waiting till we've been bitten so hard in the back.
Well, I won't say that it's been too late. It's better late than never. So it's a right time to do. But I think the government, one thing they failed to do is admitting the fact. If the thing is black, just say it's black rather than beat about the bush and be complaining here and there that this is the factor, this is the factor. We could have gone long time and yet still we could have gotten the results we are looking for or not.
If you go to IMF at this particular point in time, you are going to be restricted. Well, the IMF is not Father Christmas that they are going to give you something that don't give you restrictions. Government is trying to assure us that we are not going to have serious hardships like previous IMF during 2015 to 2018. But I don't believe that. If you look at our educational sector, let me use our education because I'm a student. Last year or beginning of this year, UTAG was on strike, that they are demanding for certain things and they expect that government to fulfill its promises by December. And now that we don't have enough money in our cafes to ensure other projects are ongoing, now government will have to find ways to pay for projects that will bring revenue. IMF will not allow government to maybe spend huge sums of money to pay arrears. UTAG till is threatening that they want to go on strike if government is not able to pay their 20% condition of service and allowances. Government will have to find ways and means to feed or provide such amount of money to them. I'm not sure IMF is going to allow government to do that.
The idea of going to the IMF is a terrible one for me, and it's very heartbreaking because when previous governments have gone to the IMF and they are in their campaign, you hear them bombarding them, saying bad things about them, and then you turn around and do this very same thing. Why would you go to the IMF? First, we hear that, well, we are starting the e-levy. The e-levy is going to help generate funds for the economy and blah, blah, blah. A lot of things to say. Then we turn around and we see that the same government is still going to the IMF, and that is something that I still don't understand. I feel like the government has deceived us as a people, because you can't tell us that we won't go to IMF if you pay e-levy. We pay e-levy, then you are at the IMF. I feel like this entire going to the IMF is going to bring a lot of disruptions to the lives of many Ghanaians, because right now people have the notion, I think you've heard of the American dream, what they want to do. What is the Ghanaian dream? The Ghanaian dream, if you ask everyone at the moment, is, well, let me just go to a university. If I get an opportunity, I get a scholarship, I'm out of the country, I'm not coming back. Right now, as I'm standing here, if you give me a passport to leave Ghana, I'll leave, because one thing that comes along with IMF is their conditionalities, and it is not favorable at all. Anytime you go for funds from them and they bring about their conditions, it's not favorable.
While some people believe that the IMF may not be the solution that Ghana needs, some also have the opinion that is the only option that the country has at this point. My name is Stella Sogli Jejom, reporting for GhanaWeb TV.